You were never meant to be rich. That's not a conspiracy theory. It's the system working exactly as it was designed. By the time you were 7 years old, your beliefs about money, success, and your place in society were already shaped. Not by facts, not by experience, but by the fears and limitations of the people around you. Money doesn't grow on trees. We can't afford that. Be grateful for what you have. Sound familiar? These weren't just innocent phrases. They were early programming, teaching you to accept limits before you even knew what freedom meant. The truth is brutal. Being poor isn't your fault. But staying poor, that's on you. From the moment you entered school, the system started molding you. Sit down, be quiet, follow instructions. Don't question authority. And above all, don't fail. They didn't teach you how to start a business, invest money, or think independently. They taught you how to memorize, obey, and conform. Why? Because the system doesn't want rebels. It wants reliable workers, people who clock in, do what they're told, and never dream too big. You weren't taught how to get rich. You were taught how to be useful to someone who already is. Let's be clear. The world is not fair, but it is predictable. The children of the wealthy grow up hearing words like leverage, assets, and ownership. They're taught to take risks, to invest, to build. The children of the poor hear play it safe, get a good job, and don't mess this up. That's not just a difference in vocabulary, it's a difference in destiny. Society loves to preach equality, but everything you're exposed to from a young age is inequality in disguise. The schools are different, the neighborhoods are different, the expectations are different, and yet somehow you're told it's a level playing field. It's not. The game is rigged, and you were never meant to win playing by the rules. Now here's the twist. Once you see the game, you can break it. The first step is awareness. You have to recognize that your thoughts about money, your fear of taking risks, your guilt about wanting more, your belief that wealth is only for a few, are not yours. They were installed. Once you realize that, you can start uninstalling them. You can reprogram your mind the same way it was programmed in the first place. Repetition, immersion, and action. Stop saying, I can't afford it. Start asking, how can I afford it? Stop seeing failure as the end. Start seeing it as data. Stop idolizing rich people and start reverse engineering how they think. Here's a harsh truth. Most people will stay poor because being poor is comfortable, not financially, but mentally. It gives you an excuse, a way out, a reason to avoid risk. But every excuse is a chain, and every risk you avoid is a door you never open. Comfort is the enemy of wealth. Growth lives in discomfort. The sooner you embrace that, the sooner you escape the trap. You were taught to value security over freedom. But security is a lie. Your job can disappear. Your savings can shrink. Your health can fail. There's no such thing as true safety. There's only control or surrender. And most people are surrendering every single day without even realizing it. Let me be clear. I'm not saying everyone can be a billionaire. I'm saying most people never even try. They're too busy playing defense, too busy surviving to learn how to win. They don't invest, they don't build, they don't scale. Not because they can't, but because their minds were wired not to. You were born into a story written by other people. But the pen is in your hand now. The question is, will you keep reciting the script they gave you, or will you write your own ending? Because you weren't born to be poor. You were born into a system that wants you to stay poor. And unless you break that system, mentally, financially, and emotionally, it will win. It always does. But the moment you stop accepting the role you were assigned, the moment you stop obeying without questioning, the moment you choose freedom over comfort, that's when everything changes. It starts with a thought, then a belief, then a habit, then a result. And suddenly, you're not playing their game anymore. You're building your own. They never meant for you to be rich. That's exactly why you must be. And now that you see the system for what it really is, let's go deeper. Because breaking free mentally is only the first step. The next phase is building your financial escape route. If you're tired of watching others win while you struggle, you need more than just mindset. You need a strategy. Here's the truth. Wealth is no longer about physical labor. It's about digital leverage. People are making more money in their sleep than others make working 40 hours a week. Why? Because they understand something you weren't taught. Money is a byproduct of value, attention, and ownership. If you're still trading your time for money, you're stuck in the oldest trap in the book. Time is limited, but systems, products, and content, those scale. The wealthy don't work harder. They work once, then let their money and systems work for them. That's the game now. And if you don't learn how to play it, you'll keep watching others win from the sidelines. So what's step one? You need to build an income that you control. A business, a brand, a channel, a product. Something that detaches your income from your time. Something that scales while you sleep. This isn't just theory. It's happening right now. Teens making 6 figures with faceless YouTube channels. Drop shippers building empires without touching inventory. Coders creating tools that print money. Writers monetizing their knowledge. Investors growing cash from clicks. None of that was taught in school. None of it will ever be. Because if everyone knew how to escape, who would stay in the cage? Here's what they don't want you to know. You don't need permission. You need execution. You don't need credentials. You need skills. And you don't need to be special. You just need to be willing to unlearn everything they taught you and start building what they never showed you was possible. You've seen the system. You've questioned the story. Now it's time to replace it. Start with a skill. Learn how to sell. Learn how to market. Learn how to create. The internet is your weapon and attention is your currency. Stop consuming like a zombie and start producing like a creator. Every second you wait is a second you give away your power. So here's your new story. You weren't just born into the system, you were born to break it. Not with anger, but with results. Not with rebellion, but with strategy. You don't fight the system by shouting, you fight it by outgrowing it. You build, you scale, you rise. And one day, not far from now, you'll look back at the version of you who thought wealth was impossible and smile. Because you'll realize the biggest lie was thinking you had to stay where you started. Now go, break it, all of it.